What's going on, moviegoers? We got to talk about the Marvels coming out next month, you guys. And I feel like we haven't really seen much of this movie. I feel like, with the marketing, obviously with this, the SAG strike still going on right now, none of your actors can promote this movie. So it's kind of hard to market, your up and coming next blockbuster without your actors attached to it. The press tour, none of that. And who knows when this strike will end. It's hurting the Marvels. The Marvels is tracking right now, you guys, for what? 55 to 75 million domestic opening weekend. Domestic opening weekend. Let me put it in perspective for you. The first Captain Marvel movie came in at 153 million domestically opening weekend. Ended up grossing $1.1 billion at the box office. Now, some would say, well, that was before the pandemic. It was riding off the coattails of Infinity War and Endgame. It was a new character being introduced, of that being Captain Marvel. She was being brought up to be the face of the MCU. Okay, I get that. But it's still pretty bad, the fact that Miss Marvel is ranging of what The Flash made opening weekend. The Flash made $55 million domestic opening weekend. 139 for the worldwide box office opening weekend. Only grossing 270 worldwide for its entire theatrical run. Now, I'm not saying that, the Marvels is only going to gross 270, but no way in hell I think this movie even makes 500 million at the box office. And that is a huge, huge failure. Let me put it even more perspective for you guys. This is the crazy stat. So Black Widow and Eternals, both of those films came out kind of in the pandemic. And Black Widow came out day and date as well, making $60 million on Disney+. Black Widow opened up $80 million domestically opening weekend. 158 worldwide. $379 million in total for its theatrical run. Keep in mind, like I said, the day and date as well. It's tracking lower than Black Widow, a film that came out during the pandemic. Eternals, $71 million domestically opening weekend. $161 million worldwide opening weekend. And ended up grossing $402 million at the box office. During the pandemic, I don't know what's happening, but this is a massive red flag for Marvel. Massive red flag. I mean, they've already struggled this year of that being Secret Invasion being the lowest viewed Disney Plus Marvel show, or Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania not even making as much as the first two films, having your next big bad of that being Kang the Conqueror in it. That is a massive red flag. Now, granted, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 was, well received critically. It made great money at the box office. All of the Guardians of the Galaxy films have. But Miss Marvel, Monica Rambeau, and Captain Marvel. Look, you guys. The first Captain Marvel movie ended up making $153 million domestically at the box office. Opening weekend. Opening weekend, like I said. And it grossed $1 billion. The fact that it's nowhere near those numbers is so concerning. Could this be another thing of superhero fatigue? How are the fans feeling with these comic book movies? And I'll be honest with you guys, the hype from, the Marvels just isn't there. It's not. Like, there's no money shots in the trailers. Everything seems so generic. I don't ever want to see Nick Fury again. Ever want to see Nick Fury again after Secret Invasion? I mean, look, you have new characters like Monica Rambeau. You have new characters like Miss Marvel. These are characters some fans haven't even seen because they didn't watch WandaVision. They didn't watch Miss Marvel on Disney Plus because they have no interest in watching all of the streaming content because it was kind of an overload from the MCU going into Phase 4 and Phase 5. They just put out so much shit. Fans are like, I can't keep up with all of this. It's just too much. So essentially, you have a bunch of these characters you're trying to promote that, some or your general audience have no idea about. Like, who's Miss Marvel? Who is this Monica Rambeau? I mean, I know Captain Marvel, that's the only person I kind of know. Or even just from the villain. The villain seems so entirely generic. Very generic. And you think about the marketing for this movie, the villain hasn't really been, that really spotlighted. It's not. Like, you look at Thor: Love and Thunder, Christian Bale was in the marketing very heavily. Very. You look at Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness with Wanda. You look at Wakanda Forever with Namor. These basic, generic villains that Marvel struggles with, I feel like the Marvels is definitely going to have. That's one of the problems. This is so concerning, you guys, because if the Marvels doesn't perform at the box office, certain projects, man, Kevin Feige's just gonna have to rethink and be like, look, we don't really need a sequel to that. We don't need to continue these stories, especially if you're not making the studio the money that they need to keep making these projects. I mean, at the end of the day, that's just the facts. It's the facts. And now some would say that, with the SAG strike still happening, it's definitely hurting, the film, because the actors can't promote their movies, and that hurts a lot because there's no press tour. I'm pretty sure there'll be a whole massive press tour going on right now for the Marvels, and to have Iman Vellani, and Brie Larson, that combination right there, I feel like could be, a great marketing strategy. But then you also have a side of the Marvel fandom that absolutely despises Brie Larson and what she stands for. I mean, for no particular reason. And they she did kind of give a couple of reasons with some of the comments that she's made over the last couple of years or whatever. But that hurts it as well. You have this toxic fandom that just hates, women superheroes, and that's part of the issue as well. I mean, I hate to say it, but that's true. Some men are out there like, nah, I'm not gonna watch no superhero movie with female leads in it, and that's the unfortunate part as well. So this movie already has a target on its back, and the fact that it's tracking so low, is not a good sign. It is not a good sign. And like I said, none of the trailers have really had that wow factor to it. None of them, man. Generic villain, generic shots, comedic moments I just don't really care for. It's really unfortunate because, I want the Marvels to succeed. I do, because I do want to see, stories like Miss Marvel's continue on. I want to see Monica Rambeau and how her powers look and stuff like that. I want to see just how much more powerful Captain Marvel has gotten since Endgame. The small little elements that I'm looking forward to, I just feel like, that's not really, connecting with the general audience. And it's a cause for concern, you guys. It is. What's next after the Marvels? What's the next movie? It's supposed to be Deadpool 3, right? Well, if the strikes aren't done by like November-ish, I definitely think Deadpool 3 is going to get delayed until, late 2024. Captain America Brave New World is probably going to get delayed to 2025. And you have that massive gap where you don't have any Marvel movies. It's going to be either really good or really bad. Best believe you guys, Deadpool 3, there's no cause for concern because that movie is going to make $1 billion at the box office. It's legacy characters returning, the hype evolving around that movie is so massive. I don't think we need to worry about, a Deadpool 3. But post your comments down below. Let me know what you guys think about the Marvel's tracking so significantly low for its opening weekend at the box office. Is this a cause for concern? Is it superhero fatigue? Is it the marketing? Let me know what you guys think. Honest opinions, man. Post them down below, you guys. Let me know. Peace.